every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, in the goddamn refrigerator.
I sure am hungry.
Yo, you guys ready to start this little podcast here?
Yep.
I'm ready.
It's not gonna be like an interview. Yeah, I got it. It's not gonna be like an interview, bro, but we do want to tell people about you.
Okay.
So don't feel no pressure.
Sorry, I'm kind of close.
I know. I'm feeling nervous. Hey, it's all good.
So today on the morning dinner, we got Jonathan Downey here.
Yo.
He is a airbrusher / artist / entrepreneur. He owns his own business, Airbrush Las Vegas, inside the Circus. And do us a favor, bro. Give us a little bit of background about you. Like, who are you? Where did you come from? And how did you get to where you are right now?
Let them know.
Let them know. So, well, you know, I was born in Costa Rica, but long story short, I guess I would say in Indiana, I started off drawing, you know, painting and stuff like that. I got locked up a few times, so I would spend a lot of time, you know, doing stuff for commissary. And then when I got out, I just, realized that I could make money with it, and I started airbrushing. My mom got me a kit, and it was one of my hustles. I did a lot of other things besides drawing and painting. I had multiple jobs and, you know, doing stuff I shouldn't be doing, but airbrushing was fun, and it was a good hobby. Anyway,
so airbrushing was what got you in trouble with like the police?
No, I was, you know,
were you tagging or something?
Were you doing graffiti or anything?
No, I was
like,
doing
dang.
none of that. I was
crazy.
selling stuff I shouldn't be selling. I was,
Ooh.
you know, hanging around with different crowds. You know, I was in the Chicago area, so it was like,
It was the influence.
Damn, that's crazy. I didn't even know. So you're from Chicago?
no, it's
from Indiana.
I used to live like 30 minutes from there. It was a city called Hobart, but we were next to Chicago, Hammond. So a lot of the cats from out there would come around to Hobart, and we would mix, and that's where you get your bad company from.
That's dope. But how'd you get into art?
I learned my hustling from them. That's where I got my airbrushing.
That's where you got your business
and then
mentality.
the business mentality from that, though, because they were, you know, pushing stuff, and
Yeah.
that's where I kind of picked that
That's
up.
kind of how Jay-Z he kind of says the same thing, where he says that he became a great businessman because he was always like selling drugs. So like that mentality helped him like kind of get into the music industry and know how to spot fake people, how to spot rats, like how to do business, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a business. Like, you don't think about it as that, but it is. You know, you have to learn it. You know, how to multiply, 2.5 into something higher so you can get a profit out of it, and make sure that you don't, you know, mess with your product. So I do.
Yeah,
I have that same mentality now in business. Like, I make sure, like, hey, if you mess up a hat or a T-shirt, it's gonna cost you money. Because if not, it's gonna cost me money.
So you've come a long way then.
That's the thing, though. Like, when did you start drawing and
So
doing everything?
drawing, I mean, I've had it since I was a kid. Like, so when I was, you know, elementary school, I was always doodling and stuff. And I remember my mom, I drew this pair of shoe, and she was like, "Oh my God, that's pretty good." So it kind of like made me feel good that I got acknowledgement for something good.
But it's funny because you say pretty good, but y'all don't understand. Like, this cat's really dope. Like, he's...
Yeah.
Like,
I saw him.
I'm like, damn. Like,
I saw you
gotta
post
understand,
something on Facebook the other day. What was it? It was like a Fortnite thing.
Oh,
You had the
Fortnite
Zelda one,
has-
too. You had Link and stuff with
Yeah,
or was that somebody else?
I think it was another Fortnite, the character with the green background and stuff like that. I think.
Now we gotta pull it up.
I mean, I do a little bit of everything, but yeah, I think you know, I spent a lot of time, you know, training myself to be a good artist, and my inspirations were like the people that inspired me. Had high expectations, so I don't try to look up to people that have low expectations. I'm like, I want to be like fucking Picasso. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's who I want to compete with. So I think my quality comes in from having high expectations with.
That's one thing about
others.
people who seem to like excel is they don't get easily hyped off of their own work. They don't look at something they did and go, oh, that's
I think
dope.
my shit
That's
sucks.
great.
Like,
there you go.
A lot
That's
of
how I
times
feel, bro.
I don't even post my stuff because I'm like, it's not good.
See, that's crazy
It's not
because I
good.
have the same
Bro.
thing. But the thing is, like, that's you for sure.
Yeah, I did that. That was freehand too.
Bro.
You see?
Link with Bulbasaur? Like, come on, bro. That's
That's airbrushing
clean.
too.
That's like
Yeah.
it's. And if y'all want to see that, we'll focus in on that. Like,
Yeah.
and it like I don't know. Like that's how I feel with a lot of the content I create. I'm like, oh nah, I'm not gonna post this because I know. I guess it's always because you're comparing yourself to other people.
Yeah.
To an extent, and I know it's not a good thing, but I use it as a fire.
You're comparing
Ooh,
yourself to people who you think are better than you, which is never a good thing to do, but it does keep you humble.
Yeah.
It does make you kind of like step back and go.
You know, it's good for you to compare and compete. You know,
Compete.
even with yourself, or even with siblings or brothers and stuff like that. That's what makes humanity. That's why we are where we are, because Russia was competing with America about who can get the fucking space first, and now we can go to the moon. So same thing with artists and videographers.
Yeah.
So it's a good drive, even though sometimes
for
you
sure.
feel.
It's like when people have kids, right? Like their kids are like their motivation to do even better.
Yeah, it's a
Right?
fire that burns under you, and it's like, oh, okay, you might need that sometimes.
Yeah.
Some people don't need it, but I know I need it. You know.
True, yeah.
Speaking of like just kind of like the art scene out here in Vegas. When was it that you moved out here to Vegas? Like what was the deciding factor that made you move from?
I like to share that actually. So, all right, about 6 years ago, I got picked up by immigration in Arizona.
No kidding.
Yeah, they showed up at the door because I was born in Costa Rica, and because of my criminal background, when I moved to Arizona, they decided to, you know, hey, let's take his papers away. So they showed up.
Oh, but you had papers though.
I'm legal. I
Yeah.
have papers and stuff like that. But they wanted to take it away because, you know, they have this law. If you commit a crime and you're not a citizen, they kind of want to take your papers away and stuff like that, you know.
Is that still in
crazy.
effect right now?
Yeah,
like that can happen
getting
right
worse. Yeah, like if I go tomorrow and punch somebody in the face, and you know,
public?
yeah, and I get charged, like they'll be like, you know, you're gonna have to go to court and you know, appeal this and figure
fight
out,
for your
like-
citizenship.
Yeah, fight for your citizenship.
Wow, that's
yeah.
crazy.
Damn.
So, and that's what Donald Trump is doing. But anyway, back to what happened. I was pretty much, it was like 4 a.m. My brother comes upstairs and he's like, hey, bro, ICE is here for you. He's like, what should we do? And
No joke.
Yeah, they surrounded the whole house. And I told my brother, I'm like, I knew they're coming for me. They took my PO, told me about it. So there's no running from it. I gotta go in.
Mm-hmm.
So I turned myself in, and I spent 3 months in Eloy, Arizona, and pretty much had to hire attorneys and everything to like fight my case and everything. So once I beat it, I got out, and I lost all the money that I had saved up, and I'm like, I need to do something. And I went on Craigslist. I saw an ad that they were looking for an airbrush artist in Vegas. So I called the dude up. The dude was like, yeah, we'll come out here. I'll help you with apartment. I'll pay you such and such, and all this great, you know. So I took the risk, and I sold all my stuff. I packed my car up and freaking drove to Vegas. And
That's wild. Damn.
Wait, so you moved out to Vegas on a Craigslist ad?
Yeah.
From Arizona.
From Arizona
Or
to
from,
Vegas, right?
Yeah, I was living in Gilbert, Arizona at the time with my brother.
Yeah.
So when they released you, you went back to your brother's house and everything?
Yeah, I went back to my brother. I was cool. Everything, like, I pretty much cleared up, and I went to my
That's
brother.
crazy though. So you had to have attorneys and whatnot. Like if
Yeah.
you didn't have those, there's a chance you wouldn't.
If I wouldn't have had an attorney, I sat 3 months, actually two and a half. If I wouldn't have had an attorney, I would have sat for a 6 month minimum. You know what I'm saying? Like, the attorneys knew the process, and they knew the paperwork that you needed and when you needed it for the courts, because what delays it that long is that each court, they'll be like, okay, we need this, 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 and this. So this attorney was preparing everything for those court dates. So it speed up the whole process to where I was out in 2.5.
That's dope.
Yeah, good. It wasn't a cheap attorney, but it definitely
Yeah.
helped out.
Thank God, man.
Yeah.
Dang,
So-
but so when you got out to Vegas, what did that job? Did it actually happen?
Hell no.
What?
So, yeah, so I get here, and I remember pulling into Eastern, like in Fremont.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is fucking ghetto out here. Like, like I thought I was moving up in the game, not going backwards. So
how long ago was this? What year was this?
this was 2000 and maybe 11, 12 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. And so when I remember parking on Fremont and Eastern somewhere, and then I called the guy up, man. I was blowing this guy's phone up like, yo, hey, I'm here. He's not picking up. He's not answering nothing.
Dang.
And yeah, so I just, like, in my head, I'm like, well, maybe he's taking his shit or something. I don't know. He left his phone somewhere. He never responded. So I remember when I was talking to him, he had mentioned Enoch. And he mentioned his name, and he even mentioned like his Facebook or something. So I Googled Enoch in Vegas, and I found his Facebook, and because he said that he was working with him. So I'm like, so I hit Enoch up like, yo, I'm the artist that was supposed to come out here. He's not answering, and Enoch showed up. He actually came through, and he's like, I'm gonna give you the scoop. This guy, he's cracked out. He's not he's not good for his word, and he's probably gonna take advantage of you and not pay you and stuff like that. Because that's what he was doing to Enoch, and Enoch quit working for him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, we met. Have you met Enoch yet, Chuck?
No, I haven't met Enoch.
I met
but I've
him.
seen this. No, we did. Because when we do the skateboards.
Yeah, he's a beast, man.
He's dope.
He's a beast. So Enoch pretty much gave me the scoop. He showed me where the spot was, and just to kind of jump forward a little bit, I ended up going to the swap meet. I was like, you know what? Well, before that, let me rewind. I had to make a decision when I found all that out. I was scared. I didn't know nobody. I didn't have a place to stay. I didn't have no money. I kind of was like, you kind of
came out here like
With
on a
nothing.
whim, bro.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
dope.
Nobody does that, bro. Nobody
Inspirational
does
as
that. I'll
fuck.
tell you that right now.
Yeah, I think it was a risk, but it turned out good. One thing I remember was that like I had $500, and I had to figure out if I'm gonna go back or if I'm gonna stay, because the $500 I got from selling my bedroom set. That's the last money I had. But anyways, I started looking for a place, and most of the places I found were like little dark rooms and shit. For $400 out here in Vegas, you really can't get too much. So I found a place for $400 that was at least it was like a master bedroom, and it was clean. It was like white walls and everything. And because of that room, I ended up saying, you know what, I'm putting $400 in. I got $100 to myself, and we'll just go from there. And that's where like I went to the swap meet. I started from there. I 6 in the morning, setting up, breaking down every weekend in the heat and in the cold.
So you had your own like equipment. You had like your own airbrushing equipment.
Yeah, I brought my airbrushes and my compressor. Like I got photos I could share, like on my little ghetto ass setup when I first started.
That's crazy. So you just did a little portable table, and you were like, whatever amount for whatever graphic you want on the t-shirt. Because
it's not too expensive to get a spot at swap meet, right?
No, I mean you could pay daily. I don't remember what they're charging now, but I ended up getting paying for the month. Like after the first weekend, I made like $600, and I was like, "Fuck!"
Really?
Yeah, it was like I made $600, and that was enough to invest.
Is that 7 days a week or?
No, just 2 days. Yeah,
bro. There's people who don't make that in 2 weeks.
I know, right? Well, that's why I felt like, but that was survival money. And you know what I'm saying? That was enough for me to keep me here, keep investing. And it wasn't the only thing I was doing. I met some dude at this place when I was getting my oil change. And he was like, hey, I got some purses. And I'm like, let me see. And he had some like Michael Kors, like some brand name purses. I'm like, well, I'll give you $200 for all your purses. And I bought all his purses, and I was flipping purses for a little bit. And then he's like, yo, I got some TVs. And I'm like, let me see what you got. So I bought one, and he's like, you need more? I was like, you got more? It's like, yeah. So I was flipping TVs at the same time too.
Yeah.
And projectors, all types of little gadgets and stuff like that, just to kind of survive. And
so you were just flipping. You were hustling.
Hustling, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't even know that about you, bro.
Yeah, just kind of hustling my, just to maintain and keep moving, staying here. And it wasn't until 7 months or 8 months into being here, I came across. I remember this kid. His name is Cliff. He's like, "Yo, man, he wanted to learn an airbrush or something." He's like, "Let's go check out this gig, this job." And so I went with him, and the job was like, it was a flop. It was like, bro, I ain't in on this. But on the way back, I saw this location on Las Vegas Boulevard on Harmon. And it said like airbrush shop and something, but there wasn't no artist there. And I went in like, "Yo, man, what's up with this location?"
Or are you looking for a job at the time or what?
I wasn't. I just went with the dude because he said he was talking about getting a gig for like body painting. And I'm like, cool, I'll go. We'll go check it out. But it opened up an opportunity to like, okay, to see something. It exposed a location to me that I didn't even know about. And, you know, I approached the owner, and, you know, actually it was the manager. His name was Alex. And I asked him, like, "Hey, what's up with this location?" He's like, "Just, you know, call later. We'll talk to the owner, blah, blah, blah." Long story short, they interviewed me, and they took me in, and it was like 50-50. So I was right on Las Vegas Boulevard fucking painting T-shirts. And
Literally 8 months in from starting.
Yeah, 8 months
in
in
Vegas with nothing.
Yeah, from nothing.
That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, and I was making like a stack, like maybe 1,500, 2,000 a week, you know, from then.
That's dope.
It was a great experience. It was a great environment too, you know. It was like I was on the strip, like, you know, great view.
Was there hella foot traffic and whatnot?
Yeah, a lot of girls. Like crazy girls.
So how long was it from that point till you, because you own Airbrush Las Vegas at Circus, right?
Yeah.
How long was it from that point that you actually moved up and you went ahead and you made the decision, and what made you make that decision?
Yeah, man, we want to hear the whole story.
The whole story. So, this guy Chino came through, and, you know, at that time I was already exposed to social media, and I was putting myself out there, and you know, the world is like, who's this little guy? So Chino comes through, and he's like, "Hey, why don't you come work with me?" He opened up a spot in Circus, and he's like, "I'll pay you salary." And so I was considering it, and in the end, when I ran the numbers, it was going to be a little bit more than what I was making there. So
a little bit more than what you were making total.
Yeah, like
Damn.
throughout the year.
So that was
like
even...
my checks were gonna drop because I was making like 1,000, 2,000 a week sometimes. I was just gonna get a consistent, you know, salary throughout the whole year, which would, in the end, would have been more money throughout the year. So, you know, I kind of was like fed up at the time with the owners too. I was having some issues with them, and I remember one time Steve came in, and he's like, "Your girl gotta go," because Lolly, that's when I had first met Lolly, was there, and I just kind of took that personal, and I'm like, you know what, I think I'm done here. I think I'm gonna finish. And he's like, "Oh, where are you going?" I was like, "To the sky." That's what
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I told him, and he's like, "Well, good luck."
Yeah.
They fucking doubted me. Like sometimes I saw him at the mall once, and I was like, "Yeah, I got 2 stores. I got a nice car. I got this, and that," just to kind of like,
Yeah,
you know,
put it in their face.
Yeah. Yeah, how you guys? Oh, well, they're doing good, but they thought I was. I was like, "Where are you guys at?" No, they're pretty good. Anyway, so back to the story. Chino pretty much he took me in, and a few months into the, you know, when I was working with him, you know, he was coming from Reno and going back and forth, and the expenses were too high for him. It was inconvenient. It wasn't working out for him. And since he took me from where I was at, he's like, "Hey, man, I'm pretty much going to tap out. If you want to take over, you got to pay the rent and such and such." So, you know, I was like, "How much is rent?" It's like $4,000 a month plus the percentage. And I had saved up $5,000. It's funny. It's a funny number, actually.
Yeah.
That's
400,
crazy. Yeah.
I had $5,000 stacked up. And so I put 4,000. I was like, you know what? And I was talking to my girl about it. My bad. I was talking to my girl, but I was talking to my girl about it, and she's like, "That's a lot of money. I don't think you should do it."
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, I ain't got nothing to lose. Like, what am I gonna do? I can't go back over there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going back to the swap meet."
You ain't gonna live off $4,000.
Yeah. So, you know what? I I put my money in. I put $4,000 into the rent, and within that first month, I made like $16,000. So I, you know what I'm saying? I
crazy.
freaking made my money back and some, and then
Yeah.
I paid him off what I owed him, and
So you essentially took the business from, you bought it off of him essentially?
no, I just took over because there wasn't
Okay.
any agreement to where like we're like, hey, you're gonna pay me this, you're gonna do that, or anything. It was more like, hey, he's pulling out, and if you want to continue, you just got to pay the rent.
But that's crazy. There was
Oh.
no paperwork or anything like you had to sign. Like, oh,
No.
that's crazy. That's kind of dope.
It was
though,
a
at the same
blessing.
time.
I think it was, you know, I believe in God, and I think that God put me in the right place and put the right people at the right time for me. You know, I think I've been trying to be a good kid, so he blessed me because I went from, you know, selling dope and street shit to trying to live a clean lifestyle, and I think it was a blessing in disguise, you know.
It's something, man, because that's a lot that happened in that short amount of time.
Yeah.
That's a shit ton of stuff that happened in
Right?
that short amount of time, you know?
So how did it go? Like how in your experience has it like? Do you think your past has like basically like molded you and trained you to be in the position that you're in right now? Because right now you manage other people, right? Like there's people that work under you.
Fuck yeah, I think it has a lot to do with it because first off, you got to be tough. Like you know, it's a hard, you know, it's hard to manage people. It is hard to deal with the stress, and I think that, you know, from failing so much, it was kind of like, you know what, you just gotta just keep dealing with it. Like you're gonna be okay. It'll pass over, and even though you feel like it's impossible, eventually once you figure it out, it becomes like
easy.
It's
Second
like,
nature
yeah,
type
it's like
shit.
a second nature. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing payroll.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't even graduate from high school. I got 6 credits and I got those in jail.
Damn.
Yeah, like I don't have education. I don't have any of that. And I know how to read,
Yeah.
and I know how to do basic math. But you know, history and all that shit, I don't fucking care.
Otherwise, you're either underpaying or overpaying everybody that works for you.
Because I was gonna say at that point, like, you know, in the legal matters of everything, did you have to find like somebody who knew about that type of work?
So that's the thing that I'm not educated, but somebody else is. You just find somebody that
You
is.
just gotta pay them, maybe.
Yeah,
or
you just pay.
whatever.
That's all it is. You make the money and you find the people to do the job. Like I have an account, you know, I have accounting, I
A
have
booker or whatever,
bookkeepers,
yeah.
I have, you know, what else is like Enoch helps me
CPAs
with
or whatever.
graphics and
Yeah.
stuff with stuff like that.
That's
I'll-
tight.
for like
you know.
social media and like your website and everything?
Website, yeah, Enoch's the guy for website. If it was, I couldn't do all that if it wasn't for, you know, people out there giving those services, you know. But that's the exchange. You work hard and you pay them if you don't have the ability. You can't do it all too. If you do, you
It's
fuck
a real
up.
business owner. If you're a real business, like people think you have to do everything as a business owner. That's actually wrong. A
Yeah.
business owner does nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's where you've come from. You literally come from the swap meet, you know, where you were doing every single thing from, you know, putting up the table, doing the shirts, and then breaking down, and then now you're delegating everything.
Yeah,
But that helped you understand though the amount of
The
work that
hard
goes
work.
into it, right?
yeah, it was a hard
You
work.
don't take it for granted. Like you know what goes into starting your own business,
Yeah.
and you know what it's gonna take to keep it.
That's why they say a good boss is somebody who knows all the ins and outs of every single position in the company.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can clean the toilets. They can.
Yeah,
do
you know, and
whatever.
it, like I'll scrub the floors till this day. Like if I go into work and I'm like, you know, I need you guys to scrub the floor, like make sure the shit's clean. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they'll be like, kind of like, cause they're girls. Sometimes they're like, ugh. I'll get down on my knees and fucking show them this is how you fucking do it. You know?
Yeah.
It's got to get done.
I think a little bit is also because you're personally that's your baby, right? Your business is your baby. Like you're everything you do is for that business.
Yeah.
So you're like you put more of an effort into it as opposed to somebody who you're gonna pay
Yeah,
an
because
hourly
it's
rate.
because it's mine, because it's something that I worked hard for, and it costed me so much. I mean, it cost me my marriage, so it's something that, you know, it becomes your wife. It becomes a priority. So and you have to learn balance too, because sometimes you can lose a lot of other things because of it, because you love it so much that you spend all your time on it. And you got to balance life. You got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of your marriage or your relationship or your friends or, you know, acquaintances.
I mean, how long have you owned the business now?
I've been in business now for 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, like at that location. But I've been painting for 16 years now.
So when we met you, you had just started like really owning that place, because we met you we met you in 2016, right?
2015.
Probably it was the
quick little
beginning.
background for everybody who's watching. We met Jonathan. Was it through Craigslist?
Craigslist, yeah.
Bro, it was through Craigslist.
Was it
because
selling
it was a tripod, which is one of the
Which we have right here.
tripods.
Right
Yeah,
there, right there, over
bro,
there.
it's the camera that's recording you right now.
That's
That's
God.
crazy.
Sick, yeah.
Yeah, so he was selling a Manfrotto tripod, and me and Chuck, we had just gotten our studio downtown.
It was
so
nice too.
We're looking for more video equipment to like kind of, and we needed another tripod, because we always bought like the rinky dinky tripods,
Yeah,
man. But
we
you
were
need something that's gonna last you a while, you know.
booty.
And clearly it did. I mean, we still using it,
It's
bro.
still here right now.
Nice.
But yeah, well, that's crazy,
how we
bro.
met.
Full
Yeah.
circle, man.
It's Craigslist, man. Meet your friends and other things too.
I was like, about to say that shit. I was like, I'm gonna stop.
You know they took that out from Craigslist now, like all the casual
weird
encounters
shit.
and all that shit.
Yeah. The weird shit.
I'm like, damn it.
Tell us a little bit about this project you got going on right now, man. The t-shirt you got right now says "Airbrush to Success," the documentary. How did that come about?
All right. So a few months ago, I don't know if you guys know. Of course, I shoot video, and I was doing photography, and I went and invested a lot of money into this gear and all this time. And you know, as a businessman, I wanted to get a return. I'm like, fuck, I have all this time and money invested in this, and I want to get a return back. So I started doing business work, like, you know, commercials and weddings and stuff like that. You know, and then after time, I realized this is not something I'm passionate about, and for me, I need to be in it to continue to do it. So I had to take a break and kind of narrow down, like, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to sell all my gear and quit? Or am I going to continue filming and find something I'm interested about? So that's where the documentary kind of idea came up, because of Netflix too, because I watch a lot of documentaries on there. But so I started thinking, okay, hey, what am I going to film? And then I started thinking, like, I need to focus on what I love, which is airbrushing. So, you know, airbrushing can be kind of boring. So I'm like, okay, well, what can I film about airbrushing? And because of the success and how much fruit is brought to me and a lot of other people, I want to share that and kind of inspire people. So that's where the airbrush to success comes. Airbrush to sex.
Nice.
Airbrush to sex.
Airbrush.
Is that how it happens?
Yeah, no. So that's where like that concept came in, where it's like, okay, let me go document some of the history. Let me go capture some success stories. Let me focus on, you know, great quality artists too. And so I've been traveling like the last few months. Like I've been to Cali a few times to interview some of the artists, Gerald Mandes, Art Alvarez.
And how do you know about these artists?
So in social media, we kind of all have, you know, groups and stuff like that, or they've been in magazines, they've created videos. They're pretty well known in just in general for artists.
But you just straight up reached out to them and you're like, yo, I'm doing this documentary. I'd love to interview you for it.
Yeah, so I reached out to Gerald. Most of these people know who I am as well. It's not like it's like some random dude, like they've heard about me. So it was easier for me to come in and say, hey man, I'm working on this project. They've seen my work, and I'm like, I wanna do this. So they were like, hell yeah, come down. So they let me stay at their house and everything. Art Alvarez, he's a senior graphic illustrator, and you know, he welcomed me in. Him and his wife Laura let me stay and showed me all his artwork.
Dope as fuck.
And this is the guy that was making artwork for Disney, like Pocahontas, the VHS album cover and stuff like that. This is where these guys.
So that's the one thing in that realm and that world, are like artists super, like if you weren't good at art, they probably wouldn't care about you. Like how he know about you?
Well, I think, you know, my exposure comes in because of my success and my talent too. being young and out there grinding it out, doing things different. I don't have a normal airbrush t-shirt shop. My shop is pretty modern. I have digital monitors, so I'm taking things to the next level. Most airbrush shops are, they paint. They have a display with pallons. It's kind of the
Old
same
school as
old
fuck.
school,
Yeah.
And so I flipped that a little bit and took it to another level.
So you're doing something to help benefit the industry of airbrushing.
Yeah.
That's how people know about you.
Just a progressive mindset type.
Plus, he's been doing it for 16 years.
Yeah.
So he didn't just come to Vegas and start.
I mean, you're still young, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing too.
Yeah, I'm 31.
That's
Sometimes
young as
So
fuck, man.
just to clarify, you're doing this documentary while you're still running your business, right?
Yeah, so right now I'm kind of pausing on the documentary because it's booming season for us. So like I'm focusing on making
Time
capital.
management, bro.
Yeah.
Time management.
And you still got the 2 spots?
No, I sold one of the other
Oh,
ones.
okay.
Yeah,
Got
and
it.
I pretty much bought a house afterwards.
Oh, nice. Congratulations,
Yeah,
man.
thanks.
Oh yeah, he
You
invited
guys are
us.
coming, right?
He invited us to his housewarming.
Nobody told me
On the
this.
14th.
I
Fuck
told
y'all.
him. I told him right when he got here. It's like, you guys are coming to the housewarming, right? I'm like, bro, I
Yeah.
forgot to tell Chuck about it.
Yeah,
But it's like for another 2 weeks, right?
yeah, on the 14th, just come through. I got friends, family coming through.
Okay.
We're gonna have drinks.
14th.
Yeah, Saturday.
I don't know if I'll be in Tahoe.
Oh,
You better not be in Tahoe.
It's gonna be popping.
dope, man. So tell us about this airbrush like documentary. You're doing this by yourself, right? Like you're filming it and you're editing it by yourself, or
Right now, it's me. I'm filming it, and eventually, I want to hire somebody to help me edit it. I'm pretty much doing the traveling and kind of interviewing the artists, getting the footage, and I think what I'm doing is more of like the pre-game, getting the content, and then I want to be able to sell this. Like eventually, I wanted to make this like a non-profit. That was my initial goal, but as a businessman, that's not a good idea. I need to, I'm a businessman. I got to make some profit. It's going to take time. It's costing me money. So I'm like, I'm going to pursue it as a business, and I am going to, create something that I can sell. If I can sell it to Netflix, or I can sell it to
some video on demand.
Yeah, Prime, something.
You could, because I don't know about, because Netflix has requirements, don't they? Like you need to shoot like
for
on
filming. Nah, you could shoot with as long as it's like 4K. But
Really?
they said
They have a list of cameras that they.
But I was watching some of the videos, like some of the documentaries, and that shit looked like shit.
Maybe it was the documentaries. Maybe they have like a standard for each specific category that
Oh,
you shoot
for
in,
like cinematic movies and
Yeah.
shit.
Like,
Yeah.
because I know they like HDR specific cameras only.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
like-
documentaries, it's raw. So
Yeah.
Yeah, because if
have
you
that
shoot in
flexibility.
Iraq, you couldn't be like, I'm carrying around my red.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah,
it. I
that's
get
true.
it. So that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So, I think eventually, and I might even hire you if you're available to like edit. I'm
Keem?
Yeah, Keem's sick, bro.
Keem's amazing.
He's sick. He's got skills.
Yeah, man. We just let me know. But the story.
Keem's as dope as his shirt.
The story's not about me though.
That shit's
Oh,
not
yeah.
bad,
Sorry.
though.
Huh? You don't like?
I don't like pineapples.
You don't like pineapples, bro? I bought it specifically for the pineapples, cause like here's my thing, bro. I love that tropical look, like that kind of like not what he's got on right now, but a lot of the shirts that that Chuck wears, they're really dope. Only problem is you can't find them in 3X, bro.
Yeah.
They don't got enough material to make them in
Savers,
3X.
Amazon
so
Prime
many.
or none of that has them. Like,
Just go to
yeah.
Savers, bro. If you
Yeah.
go to X extra large, there's so many.
Your shirt looks like you bought it from Miami or some shit.
I don't know. My girl bought it for me, so.
Oh,
How do you say Miami? Is it Miami or is it Miami?
Miami.
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 If you say like Miami, you have to fucking
Mama.
unbutton this one and just have like the hair
that's-
coming out and
that's
shit.
true. You gotta get the chain and let some hair stick out.
Cigar.
Bro, last year you were traveling a lot. Like you went to Miami like twice,
Yeah, a
didn't
few
you?
times.
You still flying your drone?
Recently, no, man. Ever since I bought this house, it's like taken up most of my time.
Why is it taking them most of your time? Just like remodeling it?
Yeah,
or-
remodeling.
Oh, okay.
I didn't buy like a brand new house. I bought a house that needs some work.
That's a fixer upper.
Not really. It's actually nice, but
Yeah.
I want it to my standards.
Are you talking about like what year? Like 2000
I don't even know what year is the house.
or like 1990?
It's probably like a 1980 or 1990 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice crib. Like it's only I gotta just do some minor adjustments, like change the floors and they're not even minor, actually kind of big, like changing the floors and do the roof.
Yeah, like that's fucking expensive.
Yeah, that's like fucking
yeah.
20 grand right
I'm
there.
just demolishing the house and rebuilding
Yeah.
it. So
Hey, so go ahead and give everybody your address right now.
Nah,
Housewarming.
yeah.
We want to see
Everybody,
Yeah, you wanna
everybody's
come
watching.
through?
That. It's all
Nah,
good. We only have like 10 viewers.
It's all right. Yeah, one of them might be. No, it's all. I got my
So-
strap beside me.
So real quick, what's yeah, John. Real quick, man.
It's funny because it's like I'll share a quick story. Growing up, like I look dorky. I got glasses.
Yeah.
I'm like, people like, dude, this kid, it's a little joke. But it was funny. I'll share like a little hood story. There was when I was selling stuff I shouldn't be selling. This dude owed me $50, and he didn't know me. He's from Chicago. He's this black dude, and he's like, oh, I ain't gonna pay him. Bro, he ended up in the hospital for not paying me that $50. He underestimated me because of my appearance.
Damn.
And I don't think he knew about me. I was pretty aggressive and violent at the time. So,
Jonathan allegedly did nothing though. He
Yeah,
just,
no,
he just
he
got
didn't.
hurt randomly.
This is a
Yeah.
made-up story,
He
guys.
just appeared in
Yeah.
the hospital.
Hey, it's
Yeah.
in the nobody. Yeah, bye.
I think shit could be broke up though, but yeah, nothing happened. It was
so
just a
would you
story.
say that like
Whoa, no, he lived. He just got, yeah, he lived like.
He's just paralyzed. Not
Yeah,
by
no,
himself.
he just got some he just got a
Yeah.
little hurt. It was nothing
Underestimated.
serious.
yeah, he just broke a few bones.
Yeah.
I respect it, man. Same here.
Yeah. Anyway,
So would you say like are you kind of similar to how you were before, or have you like chilled out a lot? Has your perspective changed? Oh, let me just ask this: has your perspective changed now that you have a little baby boy?
yeah, I have to think about what I do. I'm still the same person. I just
Yeah.
have to be smart, either
Yeah.
be good or be good at it.
Yeah.
I think that for me, there's a lot more at risk. So I really have to be careful what I say and what I do.
But you have chilled out a lot more than you used to be. You think?
Like, now I'm about as crazy as I
I'm
was.
just being good. I still feel like I'm the same person.
Like you'll still.
because there's recent incidents that I came across. But I think as a man now and being mature and trying to be a good person, I just have to like tone it down. But if there's a limit to how much you can get pushed. If somebody,
for sure, bro. You'll see red after a certain
touches
point.
my son or something like that, you'll see that.
I'll say 2013 Jonathan.
Yeah, you'll see that.
I mean, that's Papa Bear shit, though.
Yeah.
Man. You're defending your.
yeah,
you're infant,
or
man.
you touch my money too. That's probably one of the things.
That's
that-
another thing, though. It's survival. These are
Yeah.
all survival things. Like,
But I don't want to get into the hood topics. And,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I think like I said, I feel like I've come a long way. I think I'm definitely a better person, and I think for me, I've been blessed so much now that I want to give back to help people get it, get to my level or better. Some of my employees, I advise them like, bro, just watch your money, do this, do that, just so they
See,
can
that's
come
dope.
up.
So you've been more than a boss to them, more like a leader, like a influence, like kind of like a
Yeah.
father type, almost like a
Yeah,
maybe not to that far of an extent, but to you kind of guide them a little bit, right?
Yeah, I think from where, like I said, from where I came from, I don't want them, because some of these guys, man, they got rough stories too. Like they'll come from France, from like Navajo, or from Page, Arizona, and they're struggling. You know what I'm saying? But they got a talent, and they're not wise in certain things, maybe business or certain things. And I'll share my stories and I advise them. And I tell them like, this is what you should do. I think you should do this. What I did. And if an opportunity comes that's greater for them, I encourage them. Like Nate Sosi was my best artist, and he came to me and he's like, hey, I got this offer and they're gonna pay such and such, and it's gonna be in Hollywood. And I'm like,
Bro,
go
take
fucking
it.
do it. Like,
That's dope.
don't let me hold you back. Like,
Yeah.
I wish I could, and keep you on here forever, but
You
you're
don't want to
greater
hold
than
anybody
that.
back. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll manage. I just work more and find another artist. But if an opportunity for him came up, like,
That's so much
take it.
respect, man, because there's so many people not like that.
Yeah.
But I guess it's because you grew up with that and you've been through that. I don't know, because I guess there's some business owners who do go through a lot, and then they just become a dick. You know what I mean? And they wouldn't let that happen.
I
And
think, like, growing up, nobody ever taught me I never had somebody teach me these things. Like, it was just part of like the hood mentality. But my brother was my inspiration. He always helped me. Like, when I was getting in trouble, when I was going through all these hard times, he showed me love. He reached out to me.
That's
he
sick.
was, when I, got locked up, he'd bond me out. He would encourage, advise me, and he was a good role model. He was, a good dude, and eventually that's what kind of implemented on me because he tried to help me out. So now I do the same for other people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I was gonna say, because in the time I've known you, you've told me like you brought people out to Vegas, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's artists who you help them financially just so they can stay out here
Even though
and
they did
pursue
some
their
dirty
dream.
stuff, but
Yeah,
some
I've
of
got
them-
played a few times, but that doesn't change like
Nah.
the fact that
That's good karma your way, no matter which way you
yeah,
look at it.
I've
Yeah.
flown out a few artists to come work with me, and I've taken care of them. Some of them take advantage of it, which is kind of backfires on them. I'm still here; they're still struggling, unfortunately. But I think that those were bad decisions on them.
Well, if you have a personality where all you do is take advantage of people, bro, it's not sustainable. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that's gonna help you succeed or help you get further along in life. But if you have that mentality of I'm gonna help people and that's what you're worried about, good things come to you. I feel.
Oh, 100%. And maybe that's why you're where you're at, you know what I mean? Because you were just following those steps. You
Yeah.
never want to do anybody dirty anymore. Because, like, I don't know. Like, just to be able to keep going, after somebody did something dirty to you, but knowing that you're still able to help people, that's dope as fuck.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So,
Yeah.
so what would you say is the hardest part about owning your own business now?
Hardest part is kind of, I think it's more like the paperwork side of it. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole taxes and all that. That's probably the hardest. Like going into work, I love what I do, so that's not an issue. Dealing with people has kind of become normal now.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing for me is like doing the paperwork and staying on top of it. Like organization is critical in business, and you need that support, or you need to hire somebody. I used to have my ex-wife help me with that. She no longer does it, so I have to find ways to like stay organized or hire somebody. But
Is
I
that just
still
like
haven't.
receipts and buying products and whatnot? And
Yeah,
just keeping-
paperwork, mails, receipts, just keeping things in organized. Like my office desk is fucking a disaster.
Do you have an assistant? Can you get an assistant?
I have an
Or it's
assistant
just-
right now, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But she's only getting paid to handle like my emails, which I might. Never mind. I'll keep that.
Yeah. I was just
You
wondering.
gotta get that Google
I
Assistant,
was,
bro.
I was wondering how assistants work, like specifically
Yeah, I just-
how deep can they go?
Yeah. Well, I had a few. Usually, I would have them handle like emails, do payroll, scheduling, my invoices. They pretty much did it all. But I learned that when they were doing that, I was kind of detaching a lot from the business, and I wasn't aware of what's going on, like the numbers and stuff like that. So I have to for me, I feel like I have to have a part in it, just so
No
I
matter
can
what.
they say like, oh, I want to create a business that I don't do shit. You could do that, but you're not really in control. You're kind of like,
It's not really your business
Yeah.
anymore.
People are gonna be slipping shit around.
yeah,
for sure.
there's new systems that come into play. So I think that if you got to know your numbers, you got to be involved, you got to be in it. You can't. I hear friends and people talk about I want a business where I don't do shit. I'm like, dude, that means you don't want to work hard.
Yeah, and
You
if
know
you
what
don't
I'm
want to work hard, you ain't gonna have no
Yeah.
business.
Like don't like you always gotta fucking do something. Like even if you create an ongoing business that's digital and you have like
You still have.
you
to
still
be
have to
there.
be involved.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like unless you hire somebody and they're gonna charge you a nice arm and a leg, like you have to be involved no matter what. So if you're gonna be a business owner, forget about the whole thing where you ain't gonna work. Like you gotta fucking work. That's my opinion though. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you own a business and you've kind of run through it. I guess also too, like you just said, if you're gonna spend money on somebody who's gonna actually take care of everything, you might not get a lot of profit from it, but you can probably step away from it. But he literally has to
I
be
did
you.
that for a year. Like I pretty much had everybody running the business for me, and that's why I was traveling a lot.
But was there shit going on? that
I've never caught anybody like taken anything, but I'm pretty sure it probably happened. I never like stressed it or dwelt on it.
Like you didn't see an influx in.
Yeah, I was like, I'm
everything.
still profitable. I'm still making money. If there's
Yo, where are we down $10,000 this month?
yeah, if I saw something like that, I'd probably be like, yo.
Yeah.
No, I think it was more of like processes and like cleanliness and organization at the
Management.
shop. It
Got
was
it.
more like that. Numbers wise, we were pretty consistent.
That's kind of dope, though. I mean, because I just know a shit ton, like, those billionaires who own thousands of businesses.
I know. I don't know how they do it.
But they probably have so much money they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
They can delegate it out instantly,
Yeah.
Let me ask you another question, real quick. Where do you see yourself in like the next 5-10 years? Like, do you still see yourself running your business? Like, is that your goal? Is that your dream? Is that what makes you happy? Is just having your business, or like, what is your goal at the end of the day? Are you trying to not have to work anymore to where you can feel comfortable? You don't have to be there anymore, or
Yeah. No, I'm always going to work. I think that, what I do is something I love. So I'll always be painting. I'll always be involved with that.
Yeah.
Where I see myself like 5-10 years from now,
Bitcoin?
right?
Crypto.
We'll see.
I mean,
how-
I still have mine. I mean, if it does take off, that'd be sick. But eventually, I'll use that capital for investment for something else. Like
That's the mind of an entrepreneur right there, bro.
I can't stay still. Like
A lot of people will like, let's just say like Bitcoin hit $1 million like in 5 years, right? A lot of people take that money and like live off of it.
yeah,
But you're like, I'm gonna take that and invest it into more business, more cash flow. You know what I mean? Like more things that'll bring in revenue.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like, oh,
Yeah, because
I can chill
at a
now.
certain point, Bitcoin, I don't want to say it because I don't know, but it will have a stalemate again, and it'll be just flatlining for a while. So it's good to invest into something that's going to give you, especially something you love, a stream of revenue.
We'll actually talk more about Bitcoin on the next episode after this one, because we have T Ferris coming through.
Yeah, he's the crypto god in Vegas.
I want to learn
so
more from him. Yeah.
He probably has knowledge on knowledge.
So you see yourself kind of like doing more?
I think the document. So in the next, like I said, 5 years from now, my goal would be at least to have this documentary finished and have it out there, published into something, and hopefully I can make some money out of it. But if not, I finish the project. And it's
Ultimately,
done.
your goal with this like documentary is like, it's a passion project for you, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not dependent on the money, which is also one of the reasons like it's fully funded by you, right? Like you're paying for everything.
Right
for this
now, I
documentary.
am. Yeah.
Like there's no major investors. Like you're doing this out of passion.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I respect most about it.
Yeah, all the flights and I created this T-shirt with Enoch to kind of help, with some of the fundings, but it's not really a lot. It helps with like some change.
So that's the thing. It's called, what's the documentary called exactly?
Airbrush to Success.
Okay. And the thing is it just airbrushers or is it artists in general?
So I want to capture. Actually, it's gonna be artists in general. Most of it is. I'm gonna have right now. I got a lot of T-shirt artists, but I'm gonna. Some of those are illustration artists, but I will be interviewing like, body painters, automotive painters. Successful businessmen. Some of these guys that, for example, I don't know if you guys know who Henry Asensio is. He's a really, really talented artist right now that sells paintings for like, 50 grand at Caesar's Palace.
That's dope.
Oil painter. This guy was painting T-shirts before he did that. His T-shirt painting paid for his school. You know what I'm saying? So airbrushing is a hustle. It's like this is where you grind it. So he was one of my inspirations because I looked at him like, bro, I want to be like you. You're like successful. You have your galleries, you're selling paintings, you're respected, you're good. He's a good looking guy too. I'm like, I want to be like you. You know what I'm saying? And so that was my strive. And the documentary, that's why it goes from airbrush to success, because I was at the swap meet painting T-shirts, and now I'm, traveling the world doing interviews. I got, my nice cars, my nice toys. I live pretty comfortable. I'm not rich, but I'm comfortable and I feel blessed. It was because
you've
of
done a lot for
airbrushing.
yourself. Yeah.
man.
Airbrushing has done a lot for you. So
Yeah.
I feel like this is your way of doing something for airbrushing, right?
Yeah.
Where's
For
your
the community.
airbrush tattoo, bro?
I was going to get it right here. It was going to say Airbrush Las Vegas, but I kind of flaked out.
I don't like the pain. No, but
Do you have any tattoos
I just
right
haven't
now?
made the time, and I've been cheap about it. I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't want
bro.
to pay
I ain't gonna
$500
pay.
for a tattoo.
Wait,
Do it yourself,
you have
bro.
any-
You're good enough.
I
Do you
just
have
go
any
to
tattoos
jail
right
and
now?
get it done for some free
I
commissary.
feel like this is the third time I've asked this question. Do you have any tattoos right now?
Yeah, I got this one right here, which is says health, wisdom, and success. In the Bible, it talks about like put your I don't know. There's a way they put it in the Bible where it talks about like wrap it around your neck. So when I look in a mirror, it's like I try to remind myself, focus on your health, take in wisdom, and then come success. So it's more like a reminder. And then I have
That's G.
what's that?
That's gangsta.
Is that an airbrush right there?
This.
No, that's just a.
No, man. This is when I thought I was a thug,
He's like, this was a mistake.
He's trying to wipe it away right now.
Yeah, like, people ask me what is it. I'm like, don't even ask. It was when I was young, and I was like, yo, thug life, But
Just change it into an airbrush.
it should, right?
You could remake
You could do
it.
something, bro.
Yeah.
You know what? One of these days, I'll take the time to go to tattoo shop.
Hey, have you ever tried tattooing?
Yeah, I actually did it for like a week.
Was it hard? Difficult?
I didn't like it.
Really? Why?
Because I had to be all close to people, like with blood, dealing with the blood and all that.
There's blood in it, bro?
Yeah.
'Cause
You
gotta
can tell
wipe
I
down
have
after.
no tattoos.
Yeah.
Like I'm clean, bro.
Me too,
Would
bro.
you ever put a bumper sticker on a Lamborghini?
I'll put a 10 tattoo on you.
I like it, Keem. I like
But-
your
I
confidence.
heard that somewhere, and I use it every single time now.
You know what? Another thing too, I didn't go. A lot of artists are going into tattooing because they say it's pretty profitable and it's big right now. But I think that tattooing brings a certain crowd, so that's one of the reasons I stayed away from it.
We all know that.
You're, and I feel like airbrushing is more family, huh?
Yeah, I do shirts for
Like-
kids. I
like,
don't
yeah,
even do
kids.
in love and memory shirts anymore. Like when I first started airbrushing,
Yeah.
it was in Gary, Indiana. Like it was a murder capital for a while. That's where Michael Jackson was born.
That's where you made your money from.
Yeah, I was doing memorial shirts, bro.
Every
for
day.
gang wars.
Every hour.
Yeah,
You said memorial.
yeah, memorials.
It's deep as
Yo.
fuck, bro.
Let's see, like Pachi style. Like we gotta get
said-
memorial shirts.
You said R.I.P. patches?
Yeah, RP t-shirts. Is that what I said?
No, I'm saying like.
T-shirts.
T-shirts,
Oh, okay.
bro.
I thought you said airbrush like R.I.P. patches, and that's what like like you were calling a certain memory like.
No. We did the memorial shirts like RIP and love and memory of
That's sad.
Lil Jon.
I don't want to laugh.
Yeah.
Little John.
I feel like I go pretty sad trying to
Yeah.
do that for a living.
That was where most of my capital came in back. Like I said, I was doing now I barely do memorial shirts.
Just to let y'all know who airbrushing hustle is, go to a area that has a high crime rate. And that's,
yeah.
that's fucked. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's definitely If you live in the hood, that's where that's your demographic. My demographic now is tourists and kids because I'm inside Circus Casino. I'm partners with MGM, literally. That's what they title me, but they don't even give me free meals.
Circus is owned by MGM.
Yeah,
Wait,
Somebody,
so you can't
somebody
even,
said nah, it wasn't, and I got so salty. I was like,
no, it is.
it's MGM
I
Resorts.
sent my checks to MGM.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, they
Yeah.
might.
Wait, so you can't even get into the EDR?
No,
Bro, no lie, that EDR is fucking trash. Because I used to
Yeah.
work at Cashman.
What, at
which is the
Circus?
wedding. Bro, it's disgusting.
yeah. Well, if it's free, anything's good though. Like
I ate the potato chips. That's it, bro. I was like in the cereal, but like
I-
the chicken was cold.
We both used to work for Cashman, and I think like the best EDR is either
Cosmo.
the Aria
Aria,
or the Win.
MGM was really good.
MGM. I was there on a daily basis.
Bro, it was so good.
I can imagine.
MGM helped me lose a lot of weight when I was there, bro,
Really?
because I knew exactly what I was gonna have for lunch every day.
that
It's like that little chicken
had that-
salad, bro. Like
They had the cut brisket or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes like they bring down the meat.
Yeah,
and then-
but Cashman isn't even part of like.
yeah,
MGM.
not anymore. I don't think you could do it anymore. Like you have to have a card.
Yeah, because I guess they used to let vendors come in, but now they don't.
Nah, they're
like,
super strict on the EDRs.
I don't sweat it though. I'm like, it is expensive to eat inside the casinos, but I kind of just.
You can buy stuff at Smith's before you go to work.
how long do you think it'll take you to finish like Airbrush to success, and what are you hoping it does for the community?
I think that I projected 2 years. It may be a little longer because of the stuff I have on my plate right now. It might be 2 to 5 years maybe. what I hope it does is, opens the eyes to general public and artists to who we are and what we do and the sacrifices, and also inspire people to like, yo, I can make a living. I could buy my house with this. I can provide for my family.
That's sick.
It's not just like, swap meet shit. Like you could actually, make a very, very successful living from it. So I want to let people know, because sometimes they'll be like, oh, you painting T-shirts? I'm like, I'm probably driving a better car than you are, so
Yeah.
don't
Little do
judge
they
too
know.
quick. And it's not just me. I don't want to sound like cocky and arrogant. There's a lot of successful business owners out there that airbrush, and they're doing great. They're very humble and low key. I'm a little flashy and like nice cars and nice trips, but
Nice camera gear.
nice camera gears.
God
yeah.
damn it. Makes me jealous all the time, man.
No, it's all good. You'll get there.
Well,
No,
do you have a
never.
website
You
for
got it already. Bro. 1, 2, 3.
That's all Keem's camera.
That's the only cameras we have out here, bro. We still have like 2 or 3 other ones.
Right? I know. You guys got it. You guys are good. The whole house is a studio.
Well, that's our hustle, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have more, airbrushing equipment than you. So
I think you guys are definitely talented, for what you're doing and your quality of you guys have high expectations. So you guys are like the Gucci version in video of like what I do.
Oh, damn.
Does that make
Damn.
sense?
That means a lot.
Made it sound really good.
Yeah.
We Gucci,
I
yo.
surround
Do you-
myself with, talented people.
That's one thing I always preach, bro. Is you always gotta surround yourself with people who are either one better than you at what you do, or you can learn from. You know what I mean? Because if you're surrounding yourself with, it's all good. It's all good to have friends. Maybe your friends don't have aspirations or whatever, but like you have to know who you want to take characteristics from, who you want to learn from. Like what qualities do you want to gain from certain people that'll help you get to that next level.
Because you always don't want to keep stooping. Because like there's that level, there's that balance where you're in the middle, and there's some people who are higher, and then some people are in the same field. But when somebody's lower and you have to keep going down to pick them back up, it becomes,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Do you have a
liability.
website for Airbrush to Success?
Yeah, right now it's airbrushtosuccess.com.
Okay.
And if you want to check out my artwork in my shop, it's airbrushlasvegas.com. I also have Instagram too. You can check it out.
I'll go ahead and I'll post all your information down in the description. People can check you out. But I appreciate you coming through, man.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Super inspirational. I'm motivated.
We gotta go
Just
get something to
saying
eat
everything.
sometime. Get some sushi or something.
Chinatown's sick, bro.
Chinatown.
I live close to Chinatown now, so because
Oh, damn, you're right here,
Visiting
then.
in Decatur,
Oh, that's
so I've
right.
been going there often. But I don't like sushi, so
You don't like sushi, bro?
No, we'll go to a Mexican joint.
That's
I'm down for
that's
that.
another podcast for another time, guys.
Go right now, nigga. What you talking about?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of sushi, but I did start liking it a little bit thanks to Keem
Yeah.
and my girl. I was like, ooh, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
It's
go-
just specific things, though. It's not everything. You like everything, don't you?
I have a high tolerance. Like the first time I had sushi, it was at like the all you can eat buffets, bro, and I hated it. Like it put a nasty taste in my mouth, and maybe some of it was like had gone bad or something.
Like
'cause it was
raw
one of those,
smell? Like-
yeah, that too.
That's
But then
nasty.
and so like for that reason, I never ate sushi. It wasn't until like I was like maybe 21, 22 years old. My best friend, we're just driving around town. And we're deciding between Buffalo Wild Wings and sushi, and she goes, well, if we go to Buffalo Wild Wings, you got to pay for yourself. But if we go to sushi, I'll pay for both of us. And I'm like, all right, let's go to sushi. Let's try it. Let's see what you're
That's the
talking
deal.
about. So then she already knew the spots to go to, right?
Yeah.
So then we went there. Went to the I think it's called Yama Sushi. It was still like one little building at the time. It wasn't expanded like the way they have it now. But it was a small hole in the wall. And fell in love with it, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't stopped.
Yeah. Have you tried the Mexican sushi?
Yeah. We
Yeah.
went. I went to Mexico and I had
What's
sushi
that?
over there.
They got Mexican sushi now. Like
It was
it's
like carne asada on rice.
something like that. They got
Is
like
it?
They got Mexicans making sushi, bro.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
They got
said-
jalapeno on a stick. Hey, no, but it's good. They got one on the
Bad
east side
job.
on like Lamb and Charleston. I forget what it's called, but it's decent. I've tried it. It's all right.
Well, we're running out of time. We got tea.
He said, fuck you, bro.
I don't mean to cut you off. You ain't got to go home, but
No, we're good. I'm out. I got a date. No, I'm just kidding. Don't put that in there.
God damn it.
Cool.
No, we're
That's it.
good.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next morning. I love the way you got up and then you started hunching over the camera.
Sorry. I was about to say something, but...
We'll see you guys on the next morning dinner.
Later, y'all.
Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen. In the goddamn refrigerator.
I sure am hungry.